Right now, as you watch this, a silent war is being fought. No bullets, no borders drawn in blood, no soldiers marching through city streets. This war is fought with data, with algorithms, with silicon and code. And the nation that wins will control the future of human civilization. So the question is simple. Who will be the world's first AI superpower? Throughout history, power has always followed technology. In the 1940s, the nation that split the atom reshaped the entire world order. The atomic bomb didn't just end a war. It created a new kind of power so terrifying that the world has lived in its shadow for 80 years. In the 1960s, the space race wasn't really about the moon. It was about proving which system, American capitalism or Soviet communism, could push the boundaries of what was possible. The nation that reached the stars first won the argument. And then came the internet. Born quietly in American university labs, it grew into the most powerful communication tool ever created. It rewired economies, toppled governments, connected 4 billion people. Every single time, the country that mastered the defining technology of its era became the defining power of its era. Now we are entering a new age, the age of artificial intelligence. And this time, the stakes are even higher, because AI is not just another tool. It is not just a faster computer or a smarter phone. AI is a technology that learns. It improves itself. It makes decisions. It predicts outcomes. It creates. And in the hands of a nation-state, it can do something no technology before it has ever done. It can think. Today, a handful of nations are locked in a race to dominate this technology. They are spending hundreds of billions of dollars. They are recruiting the brightest minds on Earth. They are rewriting laws, restructuring militaries, and redesigning entire economies all around AI. Most people don't realize how far this race has already gone. So let's open the map. Let's look at the real contenders. And let's ask the question that governments, intelligence agencies, and tech billionaires are all quietly asking behind closed doors. Who's actually winning? Let's start with the obvious frontrunner, the United States of America. Right now, by almost every measurable standard, the US leads the world in artificial intelligence. And it's not particularly close. Silicon Valley is the birthplace of the modern AI revolution. The companies driving the most dramatic breakthroughs, OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Anthropic, Meta AI, Microsoft, they are all American. Or at least American headquartered. When ChatGPT launched in November 2022, it reached 100 million users faster than any application in human history. Faster than TikTok. Faster than Instagram. In 2 months, a product built by a few hundred engineers in San Francisco changed how the entire world thinks about machines. But consumer apps are just the surface. Underneath, the real power lies in hardware. NVIDIA, the American chipmaker, designs the advanced processors that make modern AI possible. Their GPUs, graphics processing units, are the engines of the AI revolution. And right now, NVIDIA holds roughly 80% of the market for AI training chips. That's not a lead. That's a near monopoly. The US also dominates in talent. 8 of the world's top 10 AI research universities are American. Researchers from around the globe, from India, China, Europe, the Middle East, they flock to American institutions because that's where the funding is, that's where the computing power is, and that's where the breakthroughs happen. And then there's the military dimension. The Pentagon has poured billions into AI through programs like Project Maven, which uses machine learning to analyze drone surveillance footage, and the Replicator Initiative, which aims to deploy thousands of autonomous systems, drones, unmanned vehicles, robotic ships across every branch of the military by the mid-2020s. DARPA, the legendary research agency that helped create the internet itself, is now funding dozens of AI-driven defense projects. The US also holds a powerful strategic weapon: export controls. In October 2022, and again in 2023 and 2024, the Biden administration imposed sweeping restrictions on the sale of advanced AI chips to China. These rules don't just limit what China can buy. They limit what China can build. They are designed to keep Beijing at least a generation behind in the hardware race. So on paper, the United States looks unstoppable. But here's the thing about this race. Paper doesn't win wars. If the United States is the reigning champion of AI, then China is the challenger throwing everything it has into the ring. In 2017, China's State Council released a plan called the New Generation Artificial Intelligence Development Plan. The goal was bold and explicit. Become the world leader in AI by 2030. Not a competitor, not a peer, the leader. And China has pursued that goal with a focus and intensity that few democracies could match. Consider the data advantage. AI needs data like an engine needs fuel. And China has something no other country on Earth possesses. Nearly 1.4 billion people connected through a tightly integrated digital ecosystem. WeChat, Alipay, Douyin, Taobao. Hundreds of millions of daily transactions, messages, videos, searches, and purchases. All of it generating an ocean of data. In Western countries, Privacy laws limit how that data can be collected and used. In China, those limits are different. The government can access, aggregate, and direct vast rivers of information toward AI development in ways that would be legally and politically impossible in Europe or America. Then there is state investment. China doesn't leave AI to the free market. The government directly funds AI companies, builds AI research parks, subsidizes AI education, and sets national AI priorities. Cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen have become global AI hubs not by accident but by central planning. Chinese AI companies are formidable. Baidu has built ErnieBot, a large language model designed to rival ChatGPT. Alibaba has developed Tongyi Qianwen. Huawei, despite crippling US sanctions, has managed to produce its own advanced chips, the Ascend 910B, proving that China is not willing to remain dependent on American hardware. And in January 2025, a Chinese AI lab called DeepSeek stunned the world by releasing an open-source AI model that appeared to rival some of America's best at a fraction of the cost. It sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley and briefly wiped hundreds of billions of dollars from US tech stocks. The message was clear. China can innovate, not just imitate. In the military sphere, China is integrating AI into everything. Autonomous drone swarms, AI-powered surveillance networks, cyber warfare tools, and advanced missile guidance systems. The People's Liberation Army sees AI not just as a tool, but as the key to leapfrogging American military dominance without ever fighting a conventional war. But China faces real vulnerabilities. The US chip export controls have hurt. China still struggles to manufacture the most advanced semiconductors domestically. Its best chipmaker, SMIC, remains several years behind Taiwan's TSMC, and the talent pipeline, while growing, still loses many of its brightest minds to American universities and companies. So the race between the US and China is closer than most people think. But it is also more complicated, because this isn't a two-player game. While the US and China dominate the headlines, other players are making moves that could reshape the board entirely. Start with the United Kingdom. Pound for pound, Britain might be the most influential AI nation outside the two giants. Google DeepMind, arguably the world's most prestigious AI research lab, is based in London. The UK hosted the first ever global AI safety summit in 2023 at Bletchley Park, the same place where Alan Turing broke the Nazi Enigma code. Britain has positioned itself as the world's referee on AI safety, trying to write the rules before anyone else can. It's a small country playing a very large game. Then there's the European Union. The EU took a different approach entirely. Instead of trying to build the most powerful AI, Europe decided to regulate it. In 2024, the EU passed the AI Act, the world's first comprehensive law governing artificial intelligence. It classifies AI systems by risk level and bans certain uses, like real-time facial recognition in public spaces. Critics say Europe is regulating a technology it doesn't even lead in. Supporters say someone has to protect citizens before it's too late. Either way, European rules could shape how AI is used globally, because any company that wants to sell to 500 million European consumers has to follow European law. Israel is another fascinating case. Tiny in size, enormous in impact. Israel's AI sector is deeply intertwined with its military and intelligence apparatus. Unit 8200, the Israeli military's elite signals intelligence unit, has become a legendary talent factory, producing AI entrepreneurs and researchers at an astonishing rate. Israel's AI is battle-tested, used in real-time military operations, cybersecurity, surveillance, and autonomous weapons systems. Per capita, Israel may have the densest concentration of AI talent and AI startups anywhere on Earth. India is the sleeping giant. With over 1 billion internet users, a massive and growing tech workforce, and a government increasingly focused on digital infrastructure, India has the raw ingredients for AI dominance. But it lags behind in research output, computing infrastructure, and foundational model development. India's moment may come, but it hasn't arrived yet. And then there are the Gulf states. The United Arab Emirates created the world's first Ministry of Artificial Intelligence back in 2017. Abu Dhabi's Technology Innovation Institute built Falcon, an open-source large language model that briefly topped global leaderboards. Saudi Arabia is investing billions through its Vision 2030 program to build AI-powered cities, autonomous transportation systems, and AI-driven economic planning. These nations don't have the tech ecosystems of Silicon Valley or Shenzhen, but they have something else: nearly unlimited capital. And in the AI race, money talks, so the field is wider than it appears. But width is not the same same as depth. The real question isn't just who is building AI, it's who will control it. Now let's step back. Let's stop listing the players and start thinking about what this race actually means. Because the consequences of this competition will touch every single person on this planet, including you. Let's start with the most dangerous implication: military power. The country that achieves dominance in AI will possess a military advantage unlike anything the world has ever seen. We're not talking about better weapons. We're talking about a fundamentally different kind of warfare. Imagine a military that can deploy thousands of autonomous drones in a coordinated swarm. No pilots, no human hesitation, no fear. Imagine an intelligence system that can analyze every satellite image, every intercepted communication, every social media post in a conflict zone in real time and predict what the enemy will do before the enemy has decided to do it. Imagine cyber weapons guided by AI that can infiltrate a nation's power grid, financial system, or water supply without a single soldier crossing a border. This isn't science fiction. These capabilities are being developed right now in multiple countries simultaneously. And here's the terrifying part. Unlike nuclear weapons, there is no AI arms treaty. There is no AI non-proliferation agreement. There are no international inspectors visiting AI labs. The development is happening in private companies, behind closed doors, with almost no oversight. The nuclear age had a doctrine: mutually assured destruction. It was horrifying, but it worked. It kept the peace through terror. What is the doctrine for AI warfare? Nobody knows, because nobody has written one yet. Now let's talk about economic power. AI is already transforming the global economy, but we are in the early stages. The real disruption hasn't hit yet. McKinsey Global Institute estimates that AI could add up to $16 trillion to the global economy by 2030. But that value won't be distributed evenly. It will flow to the nations and companies that control the technology. Think about what happened with the internet. The US built the internet, and American companies, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, captured most of the economic value. The rest of the world uses the internet. America owns IT. AI could follow the same pattern. If the US maintains its lead, American companies will sell AI services to the world. American platforms will process the world's data. American standards will become the default. But if China catches up or pulls ahead, the story changes. A Chinese-led AI order would look very different. It would likely be more state-controlled, more surveillance-oriented, and more aligned with authoritarian governance models. And this is where the race gets truly consequential. The AI superpower won't just have better technology. It will export its values. The US model of AI, for all its flaws, is rooted in a system that, at least in theory, values individual freedom, open markets, and democratic accountability. The Chinese model is rooted in a system that values state control, social stability, and collective order above individual rights. Both models work. Both have strengths. Both have serious flaws. But the nation that dominates AI will set the template for how this technology is used everywhere. In hospitals, in courtrooms, in schools, in police departments, in elections. Already, China has exported its AI-powered surveillance systems to over 80 countries, many of them in Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East. These systems include facial recognition cameras, predictive policing algorithms, and social monitoring tools. Countries that adopt Chinese AI infrastructure become, in a sense, part of a Chinese technological sphere of influence. The US is doing the same, just differently, through cloud computing platforms, social media algorithms, and AI-powered financial services that embed American commercial interests into the digital infrastructure of nations around the world. This is what makes the AI race different from the nuclear race or the space race. Those were about single capabilities, a bomb, a rocket. AI is about everything. It touches every sector, every institution, every decision. The nation that leads in AI doesn't just have a technological edge. It has a civilizational edge. And there's one more dimension we have to discuss. Perhaps the most unsettling one. What happens inside the winning nation? Because the AI superpower won't just project power outward. AI will transform the country from within. Automation will replace millions of jobs, not just factory workers, but lawyers, accountants, radiologists, writers, designers. The economic disruption will be staggering. The country that leads in AI will need to completely reinvent its social contract, how people work, how wealth is distributed, how meaning and purpose are found in a world where machines can do most of what humans used to do. If that transition is managed well, it could lead to an era of unprecedented prosperity and human flourishing. If it's managed poorly or not managed at all, it could lead to mass unemployment, social unrest, and political extremism on a scale we've never seen. The winner of the AI race doesn't just win power. They inherit a problem no civilization has ever had to solve. So who will win? Honestly, it depends on what you mean by win. If you mean who will build the most advanced AI models, the answer, for now, is the United States. Its combination of private sector innovation, hardware dominance, research talent, and capital investment is unmatched. But if you mean who will integrate AI most deeply into the machinery of the state, into governance, surveillance, military, and economic planning, the answer might be China. Because authoritarian systems can move faster, with fewer constraints, and with a single-minded focus that democracies struggle to replicate. And if you mean who will set the rules, the norms, the ethical frameworks that govern AI for the rest of the world, the answer is still being written. Europe wants to. The UK is trying to. And a dozen other nations are positioning themselves to have a voice. The truth is, this race may not have a single winner. It may fracture the world into AI blocks, much like the Cold War divided the world into nuclear blocks. An American AI sphere, a Chinese AI sphere, and everyone else caught in between, forced to choose. Or, and this is the scenario that keeps some researchers up at night, the race could accelerate beyond anyone's control. AI developing so fast that no government, no corporation, no individual can steer it. A world where the technology makes the decisions, and we simply live with the consequences. That's not a distant possibility. Some of the most respected minds in AI, people who have built this technology, warn that we could reach that point within our lifetimes. We started this video with a question. Who will be the world's first AI superpower? But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe the real question is this. When a machine can think, learn, create, and decide, does the superpower become the nation that built it? Or does the superpower become the machine itself? The race has already begun. The runners can't stop, and the finish line keeps moving. If this video made you think, subscribe to Future Intelligence. We explore the technologies, the power struggles, and the ideas that are quietly shaping the world you'll wake up in tomorrow. Hit the bell. Stay informed, because the future doesn't wait for anyone.